TBNK Sports presents the High School Football Game of the Week on the Main Event Channel.
Hello and welcome from Scott High School in Taylor Mill, Kentucky. Scott Borders along with Dave Bortz for another adventure with TBNK Sports and high school football in the state of Kentucky. And once again, hello from Taylor Mill on a cool summer evening when we're getting set for football as Dixie comes from across town over in Edgewood to play Scott High School. Both these teams come in at 0-1. Scott High School, of course, a 5A team in District 7, head coach Dan Woolley, and Dixie High School, head coach by David Brossert, a 5A school in District 5. Alongside me, as always, Dave Bortz. Dave, how you doing tonight?
Man, could you possibly ask for better weather than this?
It feels like football, Dave.
It does. Yeah, we got a nice little breeze blowing through the press box tonight. It's a gorgeous night in northern Kentucky, and where else, as we say every week, where else would you rather be on a Friday night?
You know, we've been doing this a few years now.
Game.
Of course, each of us have done it a few years without the other. No, I apologize for that.
It happens.
At the same time, you're right. This time of year, it always feels like the place to be. High school football, so exciting. Even, yes, in this part of the country, long known as a basketball area, at least in northern Kentucky, people really still do follow football, and it is always exciting. And here we have a game where you have two teams coming in at 0-1. Somebody's going to have their first win today. Somebody's going to drop to 0-2. But more importantly, these are two teams really that are going along the same path. We might actually see a very competitive game. You and I had the opportunity to watch Dixie last week, a team that can move the football. Now, they were stymied every time they tried to do anything spectacular to try to get past that good Campbell County defense. But for the most part, this is a team that has some weapons. Haven't had a chance to see Scott. Of course, they were blanked in their first game last week against Newport Central Catholic.
Yeah, a couple of teams coming off rather lopsided losses last week. As you mentioned, we had the Dixie-Campbell County game, and that was a game that, you know, it was competitive into the second quarter and right up until halftime, basically, and then Campbell County kind of ran away with it. But Dixie coming in with a very young sophomore quarterback. We saw some sophomore mistakes out of him. We saw the typical first game mistakes that you see with a lot of young teams and with young leadership. So we'll see if they can recover from that, what kind of progress they've made in practice this week. As you mentioned, we haven't had a chance to see Scott yet. They're coming off an even more lopsided loss at 41-0 against, Newport Central Catholic. So these are a couple of teams that are nobody wants to go out of the gate 0-2. These are a couple of teams that really want to get that first win under their belt, and I agree with you. It could be a very competitive game. Let's hope it is.
You know, this is the site. You and I had one of the best games of football I think either one of us have ever been able to witness.
Yes.
No, that's not hyperbole. We're sitting here at Scott High School in the playoffs a few years ago against Johnson Central and saw an improbable comeback by Johnson Central, who broke Scott's hearts, one of the best Scott football teams in years, with a Hail Mary touchdown in the waning seconds to defeat Scott here. We're going to take a break as we have the national anthem playing. Wow, a very impressive
Yes, indeed.
rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner from a young man who has quite the adult voice. He was impressive.
Outstanding. Member of the Scott High School Marching Band. We were talking when they announced him, so I didn't catch his name. We'll try to track that down for you. Great job. Great job.
Hit the high notes, too. That's tough. You and I don't really hit the high notes.
Scott, you were talking before the anthem about the game that we were fortunate enough to be here for between Scott and Johnson Central. And you're right, people forget sometimes how good that Scott team was. It featured names like Nelson Perrin, Roberto London. Perrin's gone on now to play for Thomas More College just down the road. So the Saints fans will get a chance to see him in all his glory this fall. But
you have Quincy Perrin now. Quincy Perrin, the lead running back for this team this year. So we stay in the family, so to speak.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A very talented family indeed.
So Scott wins the toss. They've elected to kick it away to open up the game, and the ball placed on the 40-yard line. We are close to being underway. Welcome again from Scott High School in Taylor Mills. Scott Borders along with Dave Bortz.
One of our absolute favorite places to do a game.
Fantastic field. We cannot say enough about a lot of the fields in and around the northern Kentucky area.
Yes.
They have been improved over the years immensely.
Tremendous
Get to do a game
facilities.
at Covington Catholic later in the year. A short kick to start things off, taking it about the 15-yard line by Channing Williams. And the ball came loose at the end of the play. I think they're going to rule it down as he is shy of the 25-yard line. And that's where Dixie will take over. We'll see where they spot it. The officials so far are having trouble holding on to the football. I mean, he was wide open and missed the open pass. Now you got to catch it with your hands, young man. All right. So call it the 24, their own 24. And Dixie will have the ball first with 11:54 on the clock. Jet sweep. We saw this a lot last week, and we saw that a lot last week as number 20, A.J. Diltz, on the carry, got immediately tackled for a loss.
Yeah, Dixie tried to run that jet sweep quite a bit last week against Campbell County with much the same result. Got to get some speed out on the edge to seal that corner.
So 3 wideouts to the near side. Jeremy Adams, again, back to pass, passing over the right side, complete, and that'll get some of that yardage back out across the 30. So Jeremy Adams looking a little more comfortable. Didn't have a lot of time last week. He faced a pretty stalwart defensive rush.
Yeah, he sure did. He was under pressure all night. Campbell County was just winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and their defensive line were pinning their ears back and saying, I'll meet you at the quarterback, and more often than not, they did.
All right, mark the ball right at the 30. They have to get to the 34, so a short third down.
3rd and 4 after 2nd and 12. I think they'll take that.
Same formation, shotgun. Adams, quick drop. Does a fake. Now it's rolling to his right where he's tripped up and brought down at the 21-yard line, and I can't see the number on the Scott player from here.
Number 22, great defensive play, got him right by the ankle.
Justin Grindstaff, who had 5 tackles last week against Newport Central Catholic.
Great job by the senior Grindstaff, 6'2", 180. Plays defensive end and outside linebacker. That almost looked like Dixie was trying to set up a screen as we got a high, short punt. Oh, my goodness.
Straight up in the air. It does take a little bit of a Dixie bounce, but it's not going to get any farther than the 41-yard line, that of Dixie. And Scott's going to take over now.
Yeah, that's
from the 41 of Dixie. That's not what you want.
No, that's going to wind up being a 7-yard punt. That you had a chance to maybe flip-flop the field position, and now you're going to give Scott a chance at the 41-yard line.
So we'll see what Scott comes out of there with.
Chad Omer.
Chad Omer, a pretty good basketball player in his own right. Has a brother playing out at Western Kentucky, doing a phenomenal job. In fact, he and his brother will get to that in a second. It's his first run. Look at this. Shakes off everybody. cuts down the middle and ended up getting positive yardage. How about number 20? And that's who we mentioned before, Quincy Perrin. To piggyback on that point, though, Chad Omer's brother, Jake Omer, of course, playing now at Western Kentucky. Those two were part of a great state tournament run for Scott High School all the way to the semifinal, where they lost in overtime to the eventual state champion that year in Bowling Green, who had one of the best players in the state of Kentucky, Zion Harmon, who's now playing for Meade County. Don't ask me how that works. You see the handoff right back to Perrin. I don't blame him. Perrin down near first down territory, but I think they're going to mark him a little short.
Yeah, they're going to get him at the 32 and a half, we'll call it, maybe a yard and a half, 2 yards short of the first down. It'll bring up third and very makeable, though, as you see some of the Perrin family athleticism on display already.
Most definitely.
We already talked about his older brother Nelson, who's moved on to Thomas More College. And we saw some flashes of brilliance from Quincy last year.
We did, and he's very fast. He looks like he's picked up some upper body. And there's a snap that gets away from Omer, and he does the right thing. Let's note that right now. It's going to kill this drive.
Yeah.
But it could have been so much worse. He does what so many quarterbacks fail to do. He just drops right on the football.
Absolutely. That's a senior leader right there. Your senior quarterback, Omer, you count on him to make good decisions like that. Yeah, it's a busted play, and yeah, it brings the drive to a screeching halt. But as you mentioned, it could have been so much worse. Dixie could have easily come out of that with 6 points.
So a definite punting situation, and that's a low-line drive. It nearly got blocked. It takes a great Scott bounce, and they're going to have this just shy of the goal line.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Great pressure up the gut by Dixie on Omer, who dropped back into punt formation, and he kicked a low line drive. It looked like he kicked it right into the teeth of the rush.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think that was the plan.
No, I don't
really
think so either. I don't think so either. It was a low liner, and had somebody from Dixie had their hands in the right spot, that one's easily blocked. But they get a great roll out of it, as you mentioned, and now – boy, Dixie, if they're going to score.
Right at the 1 yard line. You're not going to see a jet sweep here, I'll bet.
I wouldn't think so. They've got 99 yards to cover.
All right, so Adams is going to just keep it. Nice hole left side. So he broke around the corner and got out past the 10-yard line, very close to a first down. And by where the official on the far side of the field, he's already telling them to move the chains. So a 10-yard gain on first down gets them in a little breathing room there, out from the shadow of their own goalpost.
Yeah, boy, if you're Scott, you've got to try to fight being demoralized a little bit by that play. You had them pinned right where you wanted them. You were hoping to get a quick 3 and out instead.
So many teams want to blitz up the middle when you have that, and that's exactly what Dixie took advantage of. Jeremy running off tackle to the left, and it just had a gaping hole. Handoff goes up the middle this time where it is stifled. A short gain, maybe a yard, nothing more. And on the carry that time, number 4, C.J. Bensman.
That's a name I have a feeling we'll be calling quite a bit this evening. We did last week against Campbell County.
Dixie spreads the wealth a little bit. You'll see a couple of players. We keep an eye on Dylan Sears. He had a couple of big plays against Campbell County, and he's one to the near side going wide. Number 6, keep an eye on him. 2 wideouts to each side, back in the gun.
Channing Williams, number 2 on the far side, another one to keep an eye on tonight.
Well, that's how they got out of the goal line, and that's going to be close to another first down as Adams just keeps it again. About a 9-yard pickup that time and another first down. So Adams with the prowess of his feet, and again, a much quicker defensive backfield for Campbell County, where they were able to stop that before it got started last week, but he's already found success with it so far here against Scott High School. Clock running at 6:35 left in the first quarter. Dixie already 4 plays in this drive have it out to the 23-yard line. This being the 4th, rather. Jet sweep. Going to the far side. This time they get the corner, and that's out near the 30-yard line, so just taking up chunks of yardage. That time it was A.J. Diltz, number 20. AJ didn't make as much of an impact in the game last week as Sears did, so it'll be interesting to see how much more they do try to get him touches this week.
Yeah, he's a unique weapon. He's probably the smallest guy on the field, but he's got a lot of quickness, and quite frankly, you get him hidden behind that offensive line, you can't see him. You don't know where he's going.
Yep. Second and a short 5, and they're going to give the handoff now right side. That's a first down and more, and that is C.J. Bensman still on his feet, finally ushered out of bounds, not before getting across the 40-yard line, and Dixie moving the football at will right now.
Yeah, they're kind of having their way up front with the running game, so why bother passing it when you're picking up yards in chunks on the ground?
Mark that at the 42-yard line.
Just keep doing what you're doing if you're the Colonels.
6th play of this drive coming up. First down. 3 wideouts again. The trips formation to the near side. When you look at Bensman switch sides there, it's still a shotgun. Bensman, the blocking back. That could have been illegal motion, but as it is, Adams breaks through into the defensive secondary, into Scott territory, across the 40 of Scott, down to the 38-yard line. Another Dixie first down. And they're putting together a pretty good drive.
Yeah, they really are. Another designed quarterback run that time for Adams. And, boy, he took a big shot at the end of that play from Kyron Simpson, senior cornerback, 5'7", only 140, but he got low and hit Adams right around the waist and upended him.
2 wideouts to each side. We'll see them vary that formation on. Keeper for Adams this time, running to your left. How about that? You take a lick. The very next play, the coach calls your number again.
Yeah.
And believe me when I say that is a design run. This time it only nets him 1 yard. And that will bring up 2nd and 9. Lot of substitutions on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, Adams out of the ball game now.
So this will be interesting. Now that we'll see who they do put at quarterback. And he didn't look hurt. I think this is just a substitution.
Yeah, he is jogging down to the far end. He's looking. Well, the trainers are looking at him. Yeah,
might be an equipment issue.
Something with a hand, maybe.
Now they're going to call a timeout, and that's wise. They're going to see what's going on with him. He gets a drink of water. From here, that's the far side of the field. It still doesn't look like the actual trainers are there. It's just the folks carrying the water have kind of come up to him.
Looks like they might be working on his left hand or wrist. Maybe taping something up. It's hard to see. His back is turned to us.
They don't look like they're planning on him being in on this play. So 8th play of the drive coming up. 2nd and 9.
Putting some tape around the right elbow now.
Call it the 37.
Well, you just wonder, as much as Adams has run the ball here in this first quarter, maybe he's got a couple of turf burns. This is a field turf surface, and he's taking a couple of big shots. Now he's right back over by his head coach. Yeah. He's right back over by his head coach now. And
so into the game, Seth Young, and little affinity for that young man. I actually teach him in a Sunday school class. Well, Seth, a tremendous athlete. Seth is a close to world-class swimmer. Keep an eye on that young man's career as he hands off up the middle to Bensman. Bensman out near the 30-yard line. Stopped just short of the 30-yard line. Mark it at the 31. And a good gain on 2nd down, and that'll bring up 3rd and short.
And here comes Adams back into the ballgame.
Young back out.
Tape now on his left hand and his right elbow.
Yang Shi, number 7. The senior also has checked into the game. Keep it on. Williams here to the near side. The lone wideout on this play as they're going tight. 3rd and about 4. Hand off to Bensman. Cuts it back inside, and I believe he got the first down. Nice work by Bensman. Just followed his blockers and ran to daylight. Yes. Pretty fundamental.
Some really nice vision that time by Bensman. He was following Yang Shi to the right. He saw a hole back to his left, cut it back inside, and picks up the first down.
But give a lot of credit to Shi for the block at the point of contact right there. That initial hit and gave him a few extra yards. The 2 wideouts set to each side. 4 wideouts on the play. Back in the gun. Adams, inside handoff. Bensman to the near side. Bensman hit inside the 20, close to the 15-yard line, and they are keeping this drive alive.
Yeah, Dixie just going with what works, keeping it on the ground, allowing Adams to carry it, allowing Bensman to carry some of the workload now that Adams is a little bit dinged up, but doesn't look any the worse for wear thus far.
We're looking at a quick first quarter right now, 2:45. A good part of this quarter, there was 9:58. I take that back, 7:56. So 5 minutes had gone when they took the ball. Not even that much, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Adams again with the run. Left side, cut it back inside. Looked like if he had kept it out, he had a few more yards, but either way, it's more than enough for the first down inside the 10-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal to go.
Another just design keeper for Adams.
This would be a pretty impressive drive considering where it started.
Absolutely, starting on your own 1-yard line.
Boy, and there is nothing that wears out a defense more. You think it's tough on an offense to go the length of the field. It's tough on a defense.
Yeah,
and now they got their backs against the wall.
Especially when they're just running the ball down your throat, not doing anything fancy, just having their way with you.
And there was kind of a miscommunication and ended up getting Adams hammered, and that'll be a sack, actually, as he was hit and dropped behind the 10-yard line. It looked like a run, but somebody missed an assignment. There was a defender too quick who was unblocked right in front of him.
Yeah.
So I think his lead blocker went the wrong way. Well, we won't blame him. It could have been Adams' fault.
Looked like he and Bensman might have got a little mixed up on the handoff as well. Justin Grindstaff right there to fill the hole and contribute on the tackle.
13th play of the drive. Now they're going to stack the line of scrimmage. 2 wideouts in tight to the far side, 1 to the near side. Play fake, rolling to his right. Now Adams cuts back and wants to run, and again, Scott is there. He might have gotten back to the original or to the line of scrimmage from the last play. Clock will still run, and that's going to bring up 3rd and goal.
Yeah, they're actually going to give him a loss of a yard back to the 12. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 12.
So Scott, who had trouble stopping Dixie to this point, mustering enough strength here in the red zone, and Dixie winding towards a halt is now a big 3rd down play for both these teams. We know Dixie with Logan Sansone, the junior, has got a pretty good field goal kicker, though.
30 seconds to go in the quarter. They'll get one more play.
Good the jet sweep here. Nope, now we're going to get that flag. They had flirted with that a couple of times.
Yeah.
That's going to be on the offense. That's what you didn't want.
Yeah, false start. It was on the near side. One of the wideouts went into motion too quickly.
Clock was winding down at 26 and 9/10 of a second left to play in the first quarter. They should start the clock again now. They will, so maybe time, depending on what it is, for 1, maybe 2 plays before the end of the quarter.
3rd and goal from the 17.
All right. Even field with 2 wideouts on each side. Man coming in motion, not even looking at the jet sweep. A blitzer coming, but it's a screen set up beautifully. That is going to be a touchdown.
Wow. Great execution by Dixie that time. Adams really sold it. The offensive line did as well to set up the screen, and he just dumps it off to A.J. Diltz, who does the rest, showing off his speed and his cutback ability, and takes it right into the end zone. 3rd and goal from the 17-yard line, and you still manage to get a touchdown.
Well, they ran that blitz from up the middle, and that played right into the play call of running the screen to the right side. Diltz came free, and that's all it took. A little burst of speed, and Diltz goes into the end zone. The senior, 5'7", powers his way in, and with 3 seconds left in the quarter, they're going to go for 2. 6-0 Dixie on top. The handoff, and it looks like they got him.
They stopped him short.
They sure did.
Yeah. Knocked him down at about the 6-inch line.
So the 2-point conversion fails.
Interesting that they chose not to go with Sansone, the normally reliable field goal kicker there for the extra point. We'll see if that comes into play later on. But right now, the Scott defense has got to be winded. They got to be back on their heels a little bit. And
how about this? A 14-play, 99-yard drive, and the very first pass of the game for either team goes for a 13-yard touchdown to A.J. Diltz. So Adams, give him a lot of credit. He got a big part, the lion's share of the yardage on that drive with his feet. And he even got injured at one point. Was still able to come back and finish the drive.
I was about to say, showing a lot of grit, taking a play off to get taped up on the sideline and coming right back out, and it didn't affect him in the least.
Now, Scott has to come up with an answer somehow. You got to keep your defense on the bench a little while. Let them catch their breath here. You need to come up with some kind of drive. You don't necessarily have to score. It's an early game. You're only down 6-0, but you got to do something. It's a really short pooch kick. And finally, Scott fields it at the last possible second. And I know he was thinking that might go out of bounds, but that was too close to risk as the white jerseys were coming fast. That's a live football. And Scott ends up covering it up, and they'll have decent field position to start the drive at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, 2.6 seconds to go here in the quarter. They'll get one play. But as you mentioned, the last thing you want to do if you're the Scott High School Eagles right now is go 3 and out. You really, even with the break between quarters, you really need to keep the guys who are only playing on defense over here on the sideline, give them a chance to get their win back.
So you'll have time for one play here. Let's see what they do. Already people in the wrong places. They wanted trips to the near side. Now they're set up, and Dixie showing blitz. Quick pass to the near side, had his man open and skipped the ball to him, and I think he felt the footsteps a little bit there.
Yeah, that's number 53, Corbin Hopkins, junior defensive tackle, who was almost unblocked and getting in Omer's face there, forcing the short hop throw.
Well, he had the right read.
Yeah,
you know, as a quarterback,
sure
Chad Omer has the right read, but he just didn't get anything on the pass.
Yeah, and his receiver was wide open. There was nobody within 5 yards of him.
So the ball will stay at the 34 until they switch it to the other end of the field, or it'll be 2nd and 10. Both teams meeting with their coaches. We thank you once again for tuning in. You're watching another classic production of the Telecommunications Board of Northern Kentucky, TBNK Sports. Dave Borston, Scott Borders, once again, where we enjoy being this time of year. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe an NFL game or two, maybe a good college game.
Maybe a good college game.
A good college game. You and I are both.
We are huge college football fans. I like the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm a huge NFL
I would
fan.
much rather watch a college football game than an NFL game.
You just have kids that are still playing with all heart.
Exactly.
You really do.
You've got so many kids who know they're not going on to the next level. They're playing for the guy next to them. They're playing for that jersey for their folks in the stands. I just love that kind of passion.
So Perrin, who we've gotten to see dance a little bit,
out.
breaks free on the outside. Perrin to the races. He might go. He will score the touchdown. Quincy Perrin. And there's a flag back at the 33-yard line. Oh, my.
And Chad Omer knew it. He is standing all the way back at the line of scrimmage and now coming to the near side, talking to the coach. He knows this one's coming back. And he knew it as soon as it happened.
That's an illegal motion. That's what it was. And now, in that particular case, it did affect the play. The illegal motion more than likely was on Quincy Perrin. He probably got an early starter, was moving towards the line of scrimmage. I apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see. Either way, it's going to negate what was a wonderful 66-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, beautiful blocking.
What an answer that would have been.
Oh, my goodness. Beautiful blocking up front, and then once he got the corner, Dixie had a shot at him but couldn't quite get the angle. He just ran away from him.
And look where that takes the the ball back to the 19-yard line.
That's a 15-yard penalty. That is more than an illegal motion. That had to be a personal foul of some kind.
I wonder if that was an illegal block. The signal's this way. I think that was an illegal block, like a chop block.
Yeah.
So I take it back. That had nothing to do with Perrin. Right, a 15-yarder, and then a good play call, but it doesn't net much. The receiver on the play, number 25, Kyron Simpson, nowhere to go with it. So we apologize. We don't always get the full story here, as it'll be 3rd and forever, about 23 yards.
Got it out to the 22, a pickup of only 3 yards, but, yeah, 3rd and a country mile, as you mentioned. They're calling it 3rd and 23.
11:15 to play in the first half. Scott moments away from tying the score up initially a couple of plays ago. Now looking at a virtually unmakeable 3rd down play. They're going to run 3 wideouts to the top of your screen. They're going to give the ball to who they need to give it to. Perrin, who does break a tackle, gets it to the middle of the field where he won't do as much damage, but still a nice run back to the original line of scrimmage just about. To the 34, definitely to the original line of scrimmage, but what it amounts to is a 3 and out.
Yeah, sets up a 4th and 10, and this early in the ball game, this deep in your own territory, you got to punt it away. You can't go for it on 4th and 10.
What's more demoralizing, giving up a 99-yard touchdown drive or having a 66-yard touchdown run come back? And both pretty demoralizing. And you're really going here for Scott High School. Good snap. Again, Dixie's there. Wow. And again, a line drive punt. This time it's fielded at the 31. He's going to reverse field. Flag is down. That is in the area of a face mask.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to get against Scott High School, as we have a fan down below us quoting Austin Powers as his shoe came off there. Who throws a shoe?
Good Honestly. That was a good pickup.
That's nice. Nicely
you and I
done.
both are worldly men and have seen Austin Powers movies many times. Yeah.
Absolutely. Nicely done.
We watch all the classics.
Good job out of you, sir. Well done. But that's going to be a 15-yarder against Scott.
You did catch the airplane reference earlier in the evening before we were on air. That was impressive.
Absolutely.
All the classics.
We're hitting them all. At some point, we'll have to work Mel Brooks into the conversation.
Or Tommy Boy, either one.
Yeah. Can't go wrong either way.
All right, so the face mask will put the ball all the way to the 43-yard line, where Scott will take over with 10:07 left to play. And that's their own 43. First down. Dixie will take over, Trips to the near side. They pass to the other side, and there he is. First time we've seen him in the game. Dylan Sears with the reception. It's a little quick out and good gain on first down.
Nice pitch, nice catch, and a great job of toe tapping on the far sideline by Dylan Sears there to set up a 2nd and short, 2nd and 2. Nice pickup on first down.
8-yard pickup. Called a long 2. It'll be Adams in the gun with the trips formation here to the near side. Running to his left. So they're taking advantage of the short side of the field. And Adams again with the big carry inside the 35. Down to the 30 goes Adams.
Boy, he may only be a sophomore, but he's got a senior size, and he's tough to bring down, and he's got a lot of want-to in him.
He sure does.
He doesn't go down at first contact. It's going to take 2 or 3 of them to drag him down.
Maybe a little overwhelmed at times last week, but did show signs of some ability.
Yes.
Even passing the ball. We were both impressed. He had some good passes.
Yeah,
to Sears. So far in this game, he's doing it on the ground, as is Scott in general.
Using his athleticism.
Or Dixie in general. This time it's the jet sweep and nothing doing. Dilts with it, and he is stopped in the backfield for a loss.
Nicely sniffed out that time by Scott. Dilts was going to try to put on that burst of speed and get the corner and just couldn't do it.
You got to keep them honest with that play.
Yeah.
And that becomes an integral play for this offense. They set up other things, whether they fake that or run the sweep, so you have to keep the defense honest every now and then and run it.
Absolutely.
Because they run that motion man a lot in this offense. They're going again to the left side of the field, but the pass short. Sears, the intended receiver, or I said short, the pass way over his head.
Yeah, a little inaccuracy that time for the sophomore. He had his man, but it wasn't going to be enough for the first down, but it would have made it third and manageable, but just kind of rifled that one too high.
So Dixie, looking at now, a third and about 11. So that one play where they tried the jet sweep affecting them, 8:58 to go in the first half.
Dilt's in the backfield again. We're not seeing Bensman back there.
Tight formation. They do a play fake, so he's going to the air in the middle. He's got a man wide open.
Oh, boy.
And it was Sears, and I believe the defender coming over got in his way just enough to break that up, but Sears had it right in his hands.
Yeah, he sure did. I believe that was Kyron Simpson who came flying across Sears'
That's what
face.
I saw, 25. Yeah, Kyron Simpson.
Yeah, got his right hand up, and not sure if he got a fingernail on the ball or not. I think so.
It really looked like Sears was looking in one place, the ball came another, and he wasn't able to hold on to it. But now at fourth down, considering they're this deep into Scott territory, it's a good place here. It's not so much riverboat gambling for Dave Rosser just to go ahead and go for it here.
Yeah, you might as well. Scott really has not shown.
Look at what we know.
They're going to talk about it.
Well, timeout taken. We'll see. I still think he'll go for it here. They haven't really allowed Scott to get much. Now, again, what that 66-yard touchdown that was called back will do, though, is it will make you think about that.
Yeah, it'll put the thought in your head, and it'll make you think twice, and it'll make you take another time out.
If anything, it accomplished that. And it's still just a 6-0 game, 8:53 to go in the half. Nobody's getting blown out right now, nor do we anticipate that. I think you're going to see something out of Scott.
As we mentioned, we were expecting a competitive ball game, and partner, we've gotten it so far.
Dixie with a brilliant 99-yard drive.
Yes.
But haven't been able to add anything to that and ended up missing on the 2-point conversion try. I got to wonder, we mentioned Sansone didn't come out to kick the extra point. You got to wonder if he's healthy.
Yeah, and we just don't know. It's possible perhaps something happened during practice this week. He really didn't get much chance to kick last week. He was responsible for the only 3 points that Dixie scored.
About a 33-yard field goal.
Yeah, doinked it in off the right upright, got the bounce. And
all right, shotgun formation, looking to his right. Boy, he had receivers there. Coming free was Channing Williams, but the ball, a lot of air under it, just came up short.
Yeah, that one underthrown. He had some options going downfield, and had he placed that one correctly, Williams had a good shot at it. He was open, and it would have been good for a first down.
You almost think he could have waited another second, get them downfield a little bit farther and get some separation.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a fourth down play, and Scott will take over on downs, and not terrible field position for Scott.
And they're going to try to quick snap this, and they do. But again, I still think it was a good call going for it on fourth down.
Look at that run and finishing it off strong across the 45-yard line.
Quincy Perrin at it again. What a weapon to have in your backfield. He's already shown he can outrun the entire Dixie defense. If they give him a seam, this could be a tie ball game real quick. And they're going to get him for moving.
Well, you try to get into a rhythm, and something like that completely puts a kink in the works.
That was Perrin, too. I was watching him, and he was leaning forward at the snap and already in motion.
If you're Dixie anyway, you can almost tell when Perrin's going to get the ball by looking at him. And Perrin's got to be more of a poker player in the backfield.
Yeah, he's got.
You watch him, you can almost tell when his number is called, and don't think for a second the Dixie defensive coaches aren't keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, he's got to be able to disguise that a little bit better. Yeah, boy, close again.
Little slant play. That got some of that yardage back.
Nice throw, nice catch. That time, David Patrick, a senior running back, 5'10". They list him at 156, also plays some linebacker. But a good pass that time from Omer. Hit him right in the numbers, right in the middle of 3 defenders who collapsed on him.
That's the one you work on probably more than any. Just a quick slant, In the NFL, they love doing that. Get you 5 or 6 yards without batting an eye.
Great little timing route there. Keep an eye on Perrin. Let's see if
Offset eye here. There he is. Jukes and jives, finds daylight, got to the outside, breaks a tackle, steps out of bounds. Big gain for Perrin inside the 20.
Boy, the touchdown saving tackle by Dixie.
34-yard carry.
Got him on the far sideline and had just enough of an angle to push him out of bounds. Otherwise, he was gone again. But what a patient run that time by Perrin. Kind of setting up his blocks, waiting for the hole to open, and when it did, he turned on the jets in a big run.
Now, Perrin comes off the field, and the referee is coming over and having a chat with Dan Woolley of Scott. I don't know what this is about.
Maybe an equipment issue.
That was saying he had to come off the field. I don't know if that's for a play. I don't know what that is. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, that was an indication. That almost looked like an ejection. If it had been baseball, you might think that was an ejection. As it is, Perrin's over here on a knee getting a drink. The Scott coaches are.
Nobody said a word to him.
No, there's no penalty. No penalty flag. That's what it was. Somebody in the crowd was blowing a whistle. And they've just had the PA announcer make a warning announcement to the crowd to refrain from blowing a whistle.
Well, and we apologize. I said Perrin had just had a 34-yard run, so clearly he was tired as they run another play.
He's winded, yeah, absolutely. He needs a little break.
5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 5.
He has been the workhorse. So that had nothing to do with Quincy Perrin. Turns out somebody in the crowd was blowing a whistle, and you simply cannot do that.
Offset eye again, and another bad snap. No, he picked it up, but he's going to end up being fortunate as he gets slammed under at the 25-yard line. Oh, you just don't want to do that.
No, that Kyron Simpson's got to know better than that.
He made me look bad there.
Yeah, you gotta fall on the ball there, young man. You're a senior. Take a cue from your quarterback, Omer, who had the same situation back in the first quarter. Just fall on that thing.
Live to fight 6-0 game. Live to fight another day.
Yeah, only bad things can happen when you try to pick up the ball in that situation.
The 6th play of the drive, but they're going backwards now after getting near the red zone. Omer rolling to his right. That could be a penalty. We even heard it from the box.
Yeah.
The receiver on the play, and I did not see the number, look like he might be being held, I thought, by a Dixie defensive player.
Yeah, Justin Grindstaff was locked up with a Dixie defender out in front of Omer, giving him the time he needed to throw. I'd kind of like to have seen Omer. I realized that was a designed rollout throw, but you kind of would have liked to have seen Omer maybe set his feet and fire that one because he had more time than I think he thought he did.
All right, so we're near the left hash. Tight formation this time. Play fake. Omer rolls left. Has a man wide open inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line. And guess what? On 4th and about 17, that will be a first down.
First and goal, Kyron Simpson. Again, we keep calling the young man's name on offense and defense.
Well, I tell you where Perrin has gotten a rest, Simpson certainly is no slouch. And right now, Scott knocking on the door with an opportunity to take the lead. Ball marked at the 6-yard line, 5.5 to play before halftime. Golden opportunity for the Eagles.
And Kyron Simpson now taking his break and getting a drink.
So right back to Perrin inside the 5, keeps the feet moving, down to the 1.
Just shy of the goal line. Why not give it right back to your workhorse and set up a 2nd and goal at the 6-inch line?
They started this drive with 8:44 on the clock, and we're going to have timeout on the field. As it'll be 2nd and goal.
Yang Shi checking out of the ball game for Dixie. And it looks like he's shaken up on the far sideline.
So again, first half going rather smoothly as far as a quick first half. There's been a few penalties, that's for sure.
Both teams just keeping it on the ground and having great success with it.
Watch the man to the bottom of your screen split out wide to the left. That looks like Jackson Arden. They're going to give it off right. And is that touchdown? It is.
Quarterback keeper for Omer. Design keeper to the right, and he cuts it back up inside. He gets met at the goal line, but the ball breaks the plane. Nice drive, nice answer for Scott High School.
On the 9th play of the drive, so it was a 9-play, 67-yard drive. And right now, Scott has answered it home. Omer on the keeper for 1 yard. Extra point. Cal Ellison. Low snap. Ellison gets his foot under it, and it's good, and it's 7-6.
What a great job. I believe that was Justin Grindstaff who was doing the holding there. The snap just a little bit off, and it almost looked like it was going to get away from him, but a great job of snagging it and putting it down on the plate for Ellison, and a great kick.
Okay, so 4:39 left to play before half, and Scott, who looked like they were going to have trouble moving the football and have as much trouble stopping Dixie, has stopped Dixie on 2 straight drives and has got their own long scoring drive in the books now. They lead 7-6. Both of these teams scoring their first touchdowns of the season here in the first half.
Yeah, we mentioned Campbell County over Dixie last week, big 34-3. Sansone responsible for the only 3 points in that game. And Scott High School blanked in their opening game, shut out 41-0 on the road at Newport Central Catholic. So some things for both teams to build on here in the first half. And if you're the Dixie defense, boy, you better key in on 2 players, number 20, Quincy Perrin, and number 25, Kyron Simpson.
Good kick taken at the 10. A little bit of a line drive, hard for the defense to get back. And that is returned out to the 25 by number 2. And that, of course, is Channing Williams. And at the 25 is where Dixie will take over. 4:39 left to play. Well, 4 minutes and 5 seconds on that 9-play drive. Capped off by the 1-yard touchdown by Omer. So Dixie looking for an answer themselves. We've questioned with Dixie, do they have that big play capability? We saw some long passes last week to Sears that did not result in touchdowns. So they fake the jet sweep here. Adams, again, on the ground, grinding it out and gets out across the 30, where they will mark him just outside the 31-yard line, so a good gain on first down.
Boy, that almost looks like that zone read option there where he just places the ball in his running back's gut, and if he likes what he sees, he lets it go, and if not, he keeps it himself. But rather than throwing, he's just going to tuck it and run with it.
So mark it at the 32. First down. Under center this time. 2 backs in the backfield. Man coming in motion, Sears. Give off to the tailback up the middle, and that should be enough for the first down.
C.J. Bensman on the carry right up the gut. And, boy, you and I talk about it every single season, Scott. It is so rare anymore in high school and college football to see a quarterback go under center.
You simply don't very much.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. They want that extra time that the shotgun or the pistol formation affords you. But it looks like we're going to see it again on this play.
I like it. Pro set. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 coming in motion. Here's the sweep again. And it's going to be a minimal gain on first down, and getting the touch that time, Leon Marshall, the sophomore, number 21 for Dixie. And the clock will continue to run, 3:12 showing on it before halftime. It'll be second and about 8.
Well, the one thing that running the football, as much as we have seen both of these teams do in the first half, the one thing it'll do for you is it'll keep that clock moving.
Yes, sir.
2:54 to go until halftime.
Fake the snap, or fake the Handoff rolling to his right, and a big hold, and
got away with it.
An incomplete pass. No flag on the play, but it was an incomplete pass.
And let's see here now. It looks like the
they're going to talk about
meeting
it
with the referee. No, I don't see a yellow hanky on the field, but that
everybody up here saw it.
They sure did. That was a pretty blatant hold. They had a defender who just ran past him, reached out with his left arm, and kind of hooked him around the neck and shoulder. And they're going to decline it, it looks like. Oh, ineligible man downfield is what they're going to call.
Well, we didn't see a bit of laundry on the field, so they did call an ineligible player. I saw the hold. So they
the hold
technically
was pretty
should have
blatant.
been 2 penalties on the play at any rate, but now you got a 3rd and long from the 38. Got to get to the 41-yard line, the 46-yard line. Double reverse. And Williams breaks free. Did he get enough? He sure did. A first down for Dixie.
Right at the first down marker. Great effort by Channing Williams that time.
They are going to mark it right at the 46.
2.5 to go until halftime, and the clock's still running. Dixie's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit here, especially if they're going to keep it on the ground if they want to score before halftime.
2 wideouts to either side. Now the official blows the play dead, and a timeout taken by Scott. They want to break this momentum up. It was a 3rd and long. Keep in mind they declined a penalty.
Yeah.
Which would have backed Dixie up. I don't disagree with that, just making the point.
Right.
In fact, I probably agree they should have declined the penalty, giving them a 3rd and long. And Dixie with their kind of backing up over the last quarter, that could have been a pivotal play with a stop there for Scott. Now it keeps Dixie's drive alive, a drive they started at their own 25-yard line. 5-play drive thus far.
Yeah, Scott just has not figured out yet how to stop that Dixie rushing attack. And Dixie's running the ball at you from all different angles. They're either running the jet sweep or they're faking the jet sweep and the quarterback's hanging on to it, or they're going into that pro set and he's faking and to the up back and running the jet sweep, or giving it to the tailback right up the gut, as we saw Bensman take one for a first down a little while ago.
Don't forget next week, we're right back at Dixie. 3rd week in a row we have the Colonels, and they will play host to Simon Kenton. Of course, I said next week. That'll actually be two weeks from now, September 7th.
We get a rare Friday night off next week.
I don't know what to do with myself.
I won't either. I'd probably have to go find a high school football game to watch.
There was an incomplete pass. Adams trying to hit Sears, and that connection just has not really been there today.
Yeah, not tonight. We saw him hook up a couple of times last week against Campbell County, a couple of nice deep balls, and they're trying to find that chemistry again tonight, and thus far have not been able to.
You're in your 2-minute drill right now. Ball placed at the 46, 2nd and 10. Dixie was showing in their 2-minute drill. That was a little sideline pass, intent being to stop the clock. I'm not sure I was ready for them in a short field to be in that yet. I agree with you. They needed to have a little more quickness getting to the line. And
yeah, a little more urgency.
A little more urgency. But now there's a nice sideline
Look
pass.
out.
Couple of tackles broken. That's Sears. That's what we're looking for. Down inside the 40, and enough for a first down and more into Eagle territory.
Just a really quick pass to the far sideline. Sears takes a couple of steps off the ball, turns around, and Adams hits him right in the chest, and then it's all on Sears after that, breaking tackles and showing a lot of desire to pick up the first down. And now
16-yard gain.
You're getting into Scott territory, and you've still got 2:09 left.
So from the 38 of Scott, shotgun, back to pass, Adams, short, dangerous pass is complete. Nice catch inside the 30. Mark it at the 29.
A.J. Diltz laying his little frame out parallel to the ground and pulling that one in.
No huddle now with 2nd and 1. Clock at 1:48. Looking left
there they
side.
Go.
Had a man and nice coverage that time. He wasn't going to let him get anywhere.
Yeah, really well defended that time by Scott. They were looking for Sears, and again, we saw a couple of those deep balls from Adams to Sears last week. Couple connected, most of them didn't. That one very well defended by the Scott Eagles. Dixie with only one timeout left, 1:42 to go. The clock stops, of course, on that incompletion. But
well, that's why I said a minute 42 though is still plenty of time. Sure. If I'm Dixie, I don't go away from the run just yet.
Yeah, you don't have to panic just yet. You're 3rd and 1 now. You just maybe run it up the gut with Bensman or
and of course shotgun. So what do we know?
Yeah.
And they will run it and basically up the gut, but a nice tackle.
Great.
Coming back from his position as a linebacker, it looked like 22 Grinstaff.
No,
and
I
he
think
stopped
that
him
was
short.
That was Patrick. That was Patrick, number 12. And a great play. Boy, he sniffed that one out perfectly. 4th and 1 now.
Adams, quick pass. Uh-oh, it looked like he'd hit the turf. They're going to say complete, but it's short.
It's short, yeah.
I thought it hit the turf from here.
It sure looked like it. I think he trapped it, but it's either way, it's going to wind up short.
And it will be Scott football. How about that? A big turnaround. They ran 2 quick plays trying to get a yard. And the second play, the clock stops the minute 15, and now time for Scott, although the ball at the 29-yard line.
And Scott with 2 timeouts remaining. Dixie
with
with only
15.
1. And Scott with the 1-point lead. We'll see if they want to take that to the locker room or if they're going to try to add to it.
Scott from their own 29.
Oh, boy.
Flea flicker. He has to roll to the right and had a man at the second level. He wanted to go long, and actually Dixie did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Not a bad play call right there. I like it.
Yeah, take your shot on 1st down. Nothing wrong with that. Plenty of time and 2 timeouts. But
Dixie really got to Omer pretty quick and forced him out of the pocket.
Yeah,
he didn't have a good chance to survey the field anyway.
Yeah, and a smart senior play by Omer that time, just throwing it at his receiver's feet. He knew that wasn't going to be completed. You might as well just throw it away and live to fight on 2nd down.
Now, this is what Dave and I love. The sun going down here in Taylor Mill. It's just a real pretty setting.
Absolutely gorgeous.
You got all the trees and the hills in the background. Just a nice setting. Always have loved that here. The handoff coming to the right side. Perrin inside, or actually got past the 35 to about the 36-yard line. So positive yardage to the tune of 7 yards. Call it 6, as that'll bring up 3rd and 4.
And now Scott, I believe, moved early. They sure did. False start that's going to back him up, make it 3rd and 9 with only 49 seconds remaining. They still have 2 timeouts in their hip pocket, but 3rd and 9 is a whole lot different than 3rd and 4.
Back them up to the 31-yard line. Time beginning to be a factor now. The clock running at 48. I don't think Scott's going to be in any hurry here. 3rd down. Now you got about 8 yards to go.
Yeah, take your time here. 2 plays to kill the clock.
Another trick play. Sort of the shovel pass, but it came from the tailback, and Dixie was having none of it.
Yeah, Quincy Perrin, pardon me, I knew I was going to do that this evening. Quincy Perrin flipping that one off to Kyron Simpson.
Lost about a half yard.
Yeah, Dixie had that one diagnosed right from the get-go. 22 seconds left, 4th and long now.
Well,
and Dixie takes their final timeout.
Don't blame them either. That's a very wise timeout. It's their final timeout, but hey, if you're
getting
Scott,
the ball back.
You got to, you're in basically close enough to Sandstone's range.
All it would take is one quick strike and a few more yards on Dixie's side of the ball on offense.
You want to kick it out of here deep.
Yeah,
as
you've got to try to
quickly
flip the field.
All right, so 22 seconds left.
And this will be interesting because we've already seen a couple of punts, low line drives from Omer here that have almost been blocked by Dixie. We'll see if they bring the house this time and try to get one blocked because they've been very, very close so far.
All right, so Dixie right now not showing that they're coming after it.
Sending Williams back deep at his own 35.
It's really an odd punt return formation for Dixie. Now they're sneaking up.
Here
they
they
do
come.
come after it.
Oh.
And they did get a piece of it, it looked like. But again, pretty good kick for Scott. Williams takes it, weaving in and out of traffic, does get into Scott territory, out to about the 46-yard line, maybe the 48, we'll call it.
Nicely done. That is the third time tonight that it looked like, for all the world, Dixie had that punt blocked.
It's like
somehow Omer got it out of there.
He's kicking through people.
Somehow he's gotten it out of there 3 times when it should have been blocked, quite honestly. And now if you're Dixie, you got 12.2 seconds, no timeouts. Maybe you got 2 shots at the end zone. Let's see what they dial up.
So it is actually the 47 from their own 47, maybe 2 plays. Or from the 47 of Scott. We've seen the long pass. They're going to try to get a little hitch play, hook and ladder inside the 40. It's enough for the first down.
Nicely done.
So that gives you a shot at the end zone with 6 seconds.
Sure does. You get the ball at the 36-yard line. A nice call on 1st and 10, the hook and ladder.
Got to know your team.
Great job by Dilts of getting out of bounds and stopping the clock with 6.2 seconds to go. You got 1 shot at the end zone here. Send everybody deep and
well, as of right now, only 3 wideouts on the play. Not a standard Hail Mary formation here. They are looking long as he steps up. Now he's in trouble. Rolling to his right, gets rid of it, floats one. Did have a receiver, and I think Dylan Sears saw the imminent collision that would have happened had he caught that ball.
Yeah.
And wisely came up short, as he would have been stopped anyway. So we are at halftime, and a pretty good one from Scott High School as the host Eagles lead the visiting Dixie Colonels by a score of 7-6. We'll be back for the second half as we continue with TBNK Sports.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.